All right, here we are into the first game of this best of three series played out in the HupCup. This is going to be Grimmy in the blue Celestial, and his opponent in the red Celestial is going to be Mixu. All right, we'll take a check to see what kind of divergence we have here. We do have a opening with a collection ray from Mixu, and his Arcshaft hovering there, looking like it might be trying to do something with that Therium. But on the other side, we've got a Morph Core and an Arcshaft that's surged up so it gets that speed boost. Both heading across the map here. And a Prism. Ooh, this is the build. This is the build, the Grimmy and Haya build. It is an all-in rush, where I'm pretty sure we're going to see this. This is not a Morph Core rush. This is going to be a Creation Chamber. Now, where is it going to land? That's my guess, at least. He scouts out. He sees there's a Creation Chamber there already, and it's being surged with an Argent out. But he's going to put his Creation Chamber right next door. He says, here we go. You have a Creation Chamber, I'll have a Creation Chamber. He sets his to be his primary Creation Chamber. There's a Morph Core there trying to deal some damage to it. But that cannot out DPS the healing, I think. The Argent helps, of course, but we now have an Argent each. They're both summoning Link Nodes, or both summoning, yeah, Link Nodes. But it's Grimmy's Link Node in there first, and Mix's Link Node is not transforming into Strike. Now it is. And now it is, oh, this is just going to be a micro battle now. That one low Argent gets to the back, manages to stay alive. There is a Sovereign's Watch, but it is focusing fire on the Creation Chamber, which is not going to be helpful. And now it's a micro battle. We see that one low Argent of Grimmy getting pulled out to the back there, and he gets under the healing ray of the Archship. But now the Sovereign's Watch is on another Argent, and it gets taken out. We do not see... Oh, this Strike Node is almost done. Another Argent pops out for Grimmy. There's only a single Argent, and now that Strike Node is going. Power Bank gets taken out. Sovereign's Watch finally runs out. And it's still 2v2 in terms of Argents. No, it's now 3v2, but there is a Strike Node for Mixu. And Grimmy's Argents are going to focus on that Strike Node. One of the weak ones getting pulled back. A fourth Argent showing up. That Strike Node is not taken out. All the units have to retreat here. And Grimmy's kind of in full retreat. His low unit, low unit goes back to get the healing cabbage. But yeah, this push started out looking pretty good, but is starting to look kind of hard for Grimmy here. He still has the Argent numbers, but the Strike Node is there, and every single Argent that he builds has to walk right past it. It's also a Surge Strike Node, but the Strike Node's about to go down. It goes down, and now we have an Argent versus Argent battle. It still looks like it's in the favor of Mixu for the moment. That Creation Chamber is so low. If he can focus fire it down, that is it. Here comes another Link Node. Remember, the Link Nodes build fast, but the Strike Nodes take a while to morph in. And it has not yet been started. And I don't know if there is another Creation Chamber. I think there is one back home. But that means now all of a sudden the reinforced distance is so long that those Argents that are going to be reinforcing for Grimmy are going to have to run all the way across the map. We're now getting an Argent advantage plus a Morph Core for Mixu. I think this could spell the end of the push. And if it does, what an incredible hold for Mixu here. I'm not sure if I've seen this build actually go down before. The Link Node gets taken out, and again, it is an Argent advantage here. They're starting to focus on the Archship, and the Archship's also taking the Sovereign's Watch. Kind of weird. It seems like it's almost out healing the Sovereign's Watch. That's very bizarre. I know it has to pull all the way out of range, so it can no longer take hits from that. There is a Creation Chamber that's been resummoned in the back there. But yeah, there's 5 or 6 Argents here versus what, 8? 7? It looks like this is going to be Mixu's hold. Maybe Grimmy can get a little damage done on the outside there if he's able to poke at those units. But we now see a Kree coming out. One Argent actually getting focused down. There's a low Argent for Grimmy. Mixu can focus that, but I think Mixu was instead focusing on the strike node or the link node and took it out. I really feel the longer this goes on, the more advantage Mixu gets. Mostly because Mixu's economy, it's really hard to tell because Grimmy has been pumping out prisms and throwing them to mines around. He's got prisms everywhere. So he may have been able to keep up with his economy here. It's not really clear, but in terms of units, it looks like Mixu has the advantage. And yeah, it's becoming hard for Grimmy to get any damage dealt here. It looks like he's losing Argents at a little bit quicker rate, and as there's another low Argent there that, okay, it does get focused fire down there, at the cost of an Argent of his own, I think. So I really don't think the trades so far have been in Grimmy's favor. And yeah, Mixu just needs to stick around, and he's already up to tier 2. I think we don't see a similar tech advantage, and now those units trying to move out and look for some other arrays to harass means that Mixu's able to take out this forward base, and not sure. So for Grimmy, that means kind of an end to this push, although he continues to push in with his Argents. Very aggressive. Certainly not outnumbered. That's a Purify from Mixu. I love that there's a red color on it now. I immediately assumed that was a Grimmy Purify, but that was a Mixu, and that's going to be GG out of Grimmy in game number 1. Okay, here we are in game number 2. And this is going to be in the blue Celestial. This is going to be Mixu, winner of game number 1. Sending out his Morph Core to get a collection array to start out. And his opponent, here we are with a surged array, or surged arc ship also flying across, although he did unsurge it there, so he's got something in mind there, is our Red Celestial Grimmy. Also with the collection array, but has something in mind, is going somewhere with this ship. We'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, the arc ship of Mixu also on the move. Both of these players with ideas. Ideas indeed. Now, one thing I didn't comment on when it happened was there was an initial scan from Grimmy right away. And that also could be telling of a particular build. Usually it's telling of the same build he just did. I don't know if he would try it twice in a row, but he might. And it's a creation chamber in here. It looks like Mixu is going for the center of the map here, but he is also knocking down some of the trees, which is an interesting choice. That's to get his units in and out. Whereas Grimmy, always with something fun and interesting, deciding to take this base. Now, what is his plan with this? I'm not super sure. Now, interesting thing from Mixu here is he did not actually take this collection array yet. So he's on 2 arrays with 1 Ethereum mining prism, where we have 1, 2, 3 arrays from Grimmy. So Grimmy's doing a little bit more standard build, whereas the build from Mixu is a little bit more aggressive. We do see that he has 3 Argents out already. And now he's going for a Guardian Nexus, who's got the 3 Argents out, and he's going to bring the Argents to this energy camp. What an interesting and curious, creeping pattern from both of them. They're starting on the opposite sides of the map as they would normally. And now it's Morph Cores and Argents heading over here. Now there's no base here. Mixu's base is of course in the middle of the map. But Grimmy can do some damage to the economy over here. The morph cores are an interesting choice. I wonder what the idea is. We'll probably see that manifest. Now, were the trees knocked down there? They were. So these Argents could have moved through there, and one of them does. And that means they are going to scout this base here, and they're like, wait a second. And this base, so we did get a creation chamber here, and a power bank. This collection array is going to go down. There it goes. But we do have the Sovereign's Watch still triggered here. And these Argents are going to try and recapture the health camp. Another Argent goes down to the Sovereign's Watch, but no more Sovereign's Watch because the collection array is gone. There's no more Sovereign's Watch defense, which means these Argents are going to have to come back and defend. Now, it looks like they cleared out that array, and they are going to clear out this one too. And so they are going to lose some of these buildings back here. It's power banks that have gone down first, but we see that Grimmy is still only in yellow power as a result of that. And all the rest up here are these creation chambers, which honestly Grimmy has enough of to produce out of. And now his units, ooh, that's a nice concave, almost smoking that Argent. Managing to snipe it at the end. And so this little gap, this narrow gap in the trees is not a great way to attack in, especially if your opponent can get that concave on you. But it is looking like Grimmy's got the advantage here. Has taken out most of the economy of Mixu and has the bigger ball of Argents at the moment. That's sort of two things in his favor. All he really needs to do now is get some good trades with these Argents, and we see him doing that indeed. Ooh, and yeah, that's going to be GG from Mixu right away. Alright, here we are in the final game of this best of 3. This is going to be Grimmy in the blue Celestial. And his opponent, who just scanned him, is Mixu in the red Celestial. So we get a collection array again. Both of these players opting for a similar opening, at least to start here, although they've gone for different mines. Mixu going over here for this one with the Ethereum base. Now, of course, that doesn't help out unless you drop your own Purifier or you keep your Arc Ship there, unlike with a Vanguard or an Infernal player. So there may be more of a strategic positional choice here. We see a power bank going there and the trees getting chopped. Whereas it's going to be triple array here for Grimmy. And Grimmy is moving his Arc Ship more in a forward direction. So we do see the strategic value of coming over here now. Mixu wanting to creep out this camp, the energy camp, which again is not super advantageous for the other factions, but for the Celestials can be one of the most important camps to control is your energy camp, especially if you're building Argents, and both of our last games were almost pure Argent, so it's a good camp to grab for sure. And we do see a third array also down here. And now an Argent has popped out to finish off this camp, because again, you don't of course get the benefit from it until you capture it completely. And it looks like Alright, there is a creation chamber up on the high ground here for Grimmy, and wow! Alright, Grimmy is staying with the aggressive play. I mean, Grimmy can be a particularly aggressive player, at least when I watch him on his streams. But he's once again chosen to build an array on the opposite side of the map and start building his base around that forward array. Okay, so there are these two sort of bases are like right facing each other. So the reinforcement time for both of these players is going to be effectively 0. Which really puts some pressure on the macro here. It's not clear if Mixu's actually scouted this out yet. And did he bring his arc ship forward? No. Oh, there it is. It's hovering over the cliffs there, the high ground. Ooh, a ton of Argents racing across here. And here they are. They look like they're going to... Ooh, they're moving right underneath here. I thought they might have been trying to target the arc ship, which was an interesting choice. But nope. They are going to focus fire down some Argents and some really good trades to start out from Grimmy. Getting a couple Argents there. Now these Argents move forward, and when you're on a move like that, one thing they'll do is they'll attack the arc ship, which is part of the strategy of having a forward arc ship like this. Well, you don't want you to lose your arc ship, but if you can force those Argents to spend, you know, their important blasts on the arc ship instead of your Argents, you might be able to get some better trades. Now, of course, Grimmy's arc ship now is looking a little low at about 300 hit points. He's going to want to spend a minute or two healing back up. Now, these buildings do heal quite rapidly. The celestial buildings, that is. Okay, he built the node and then canceled it. Built a power bank instead. It looks like Grimmy might have a little bit of an advantage in terms of supply, but it doesn't seem to be clear from this battle here. I think there's just more Argents here for Mixu, and he had a better concave there, which meant he got a few extra kills, it looked like. I'd love to have an Argent counter right now because my pattern recognizing eyeballs can't count that many Argents. They almost look very similar size in terms of how many Argents there are right now in these little Argent balls. Ooh, I'm getting a couple good kills from Grimmy there. Although he does have a few low Argents too. Very good micro from Grimmy to move those low Argents back, put them into the rear of his army, and that allows the arc ship to heal them up. One interesting note about the arc ship healing is, I believe if you get damaged, it will cancel the healing. It's sort of a regen over time. So that's why we see them sort of moving back and then trying to keep those units out of fire. Here we see a Sovereign's Watch actually from this array. I didn't even notice there was an array down there. But Grimmy's continued to expand around this. And it is still just looking like there might be more Argents for Mixu. And that might just be because the extra supply that we're seeing for Grimmy is in his economy. Okay, Mixu's going to want to try and take out this base now. Grimmy's going to have to try and get on top of this to defend it. Cut them off while they're out of position, but no, he loses the array and just decides to take the loss. Alright, sniping power banks from the other side of the woods, but now it's going to be... Ooh, both of them just leaving power banks really close to 0 here. Both of them. I'm not sure if either of them know that. Okay, so here we see Mixu coming and finally sniping that power bank. Although Grimmy definitely has an abundance of power right now. So Grimmy's defense, there's a couple little strike Argents up here for Mixu. Not sure what their idea is. Maybe try and go in and get the Collection array. Maybe just try and help a little bit with a concave. Without knocking down those trees in the middle there, you can't really get a nice surround from that position. But, ooh, that is a nice concave there for Mixu. And Mixu just moving his units forward just ever so slightly to make sure that the second row of Argents was also firing. Wow, we got a Sarvin's Watch on this creation chamber being able to target the other creation chamber of Mixu. And now it's a Morph Core trying to take out these trees. Now we see what he was trying to get at. He wanted to snipe the collection array. And by doing that, it makes it so that there can be no more Sarvin's Watches over here. And again, damaging the income of Grimmy. This could be a slight turning of the tides here. As long as he doesn't take too many poor trades here. He's trying to snipe another creation chamber here. And also trying to keep Grimmy out of position by forcing him to attack in the little bit of a choke there between the trees. He keeps forcing his Argents to break down into smaller groups and then get forced into a concave that can really focus them down. No more creation chambers resummoned for Grimmy here. He's putting all his energy into Argent production, although he has created a Star Forge. We'll see what comes out of that. I imagine sabers. We have a Purify down, and again with the blue aura on that, I can now tell that that is a Grimmy Purified. So thank you, Frost Giant, for all the awesome, cool Christmas gifts you gave us this year. And it's just an Argent dance-off so far. Here go a couple Argents. These could be annoying because, oh, we got a Morph Core there. We do have an array here. No array here yet. I think those Argents are indeed thinking, hey, there's got to be more bases out there. Just a base too? Yeah. Grimmy's just taking all the bases. And, oh, this is not really good for Mixu. Although he was getting a pretty okay concave there. He can get cut off. And there is the first saber for Grimmy. I don't know if we have a Starforge. We do have a Guardian Nexus. But I haven't seen... Oh, there are the photocapacitors. But yeah, there's the saber now. And that saber is... Ooh... Paying for itself already with these Argent kills. Now we got to Purify. Oh, that's a Purify for Grimmy. Interesting position. Not sure what that does. But now that single saber is just taking shots. Interesting that it's going for the creation chamber and not, say, the strike node or a power bank. And I didn't see where... Oh, here they are. Okay, so there are Argents up in Grimmy's base now trying to be annoying, and it looks like they have been. They've forced a couple chambers to float away. But this front for Mixu is breaking down. The Argents have broken it, and the couple sabers in the back are really what made this happen. The Argent force has not died. Mixu's pulled it back. There's a single power bank still up here. Oh no, but now the sabers can fire from the other side of the cliff face here and take out the creation or the collection array. And there it goes, unfortunately for Mixu. Now Mixu's strike force is still up here. Both of these collection arrays are going back down, and it looks like Grimmy is fighting a two-front war here, although it looked for a second there that he was going to be making it a single front war by bringing his whole army up there. Instead, no, he's just made a little bit of a defending force here to make sure that those other Argents can't put pressure on his other bases. There is another base here, but yes, okay. Argent versus Argent. There's just more for Mixu here. It looks to me like they're casting Purify on the other players. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just mistaking what I'm seeing here. Or it could have been misclicks or any number of other things as well. But still happy that I can see whose Purify it is. Now Grimmy's force here is starting to really outstrip Mixu's. And Mixu does have a saber of his own now, which is going to be how he gets back in this, but it is a single saber versus 3. Ooh, but another little strike force here, taking out a creation chamber. So one of Mixu's advantages is he is splitting his army up in a way that is allowing him to get some damage done. Now Saber's chasing the artist down, trying to get some good trades, and they do get a couple, but they run into the sabers of Grimmy. It's got 4 of them, and they're starting to take out Argents in their little line attack there. Once the Argents get into that little bit of concave formation that they want to get in, that's exactly what the sabers like to see. Line up for me so I can get 3 or 4 of you at the same time. Now Grimmy's playing a little bit of back and forth, and I think that might just be hesitancy because he's not sure how far ahead he is, and not sure how many of these other bases have been taken. Although I say that, but most of these bases are his, so I think at this point he's scouted all of the mines with arrays, and that's just a great way to scout. Now there's a creation chamber with the Sovereign's Watch on it, but Grimmy just moves forward to try and focus it down. I'm sorry about that. And there we have the sabers on the north side there, just getting so many good hits in, and that's going to be GG out of Mixu in this final game. Congratulations to Grimmy.